Anna, and this is Liberty Gourmand, where fabulous food, whether innovative or traditional, and the company of wonderful neighbors make our hearts and the planet healthier. So today I have a very fast lunch for you. You can make this ahead and take it with you, or if you work from home like I do much of the time, you're at home, you can whip this up in 10 minutes and get it down the hatch and out the door. It is big, it is comforting in the cool season, and it is actually also not very calorie dense, and it is very packed with nutrients, so it is great for weight loss as well. As always, it is a vegan recipe. I think anyone who likes almost anything will like it though, so thanks for watching. If you are new to this channel, welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. Okay, cool, let's meet our cast of characters. So we have a block of tofu. I'm going to be using about 1/5 of it. This is an extra firm tofu. I actually also like softer silken. You just have to be careful stirring it in, and this happens to be what I had on hand. We have miso. It's going to be a miso soup. We have soba noodles. It's going to be a soba noodle soup. And I add always a head of baby bok choy. Now, if it's bigger, I might only use half, but it goes down, and then I'm going to garnish it. I happen to have some green onions. This would be optional. It's a really good with green onion garnish. You could also add some fresh sliced mushrooms to this soup. That would be optional too, but I would say miso, definitely. Soba, definitely. Something green, absolutely. Really, you ought to get the tofu in there, but that's probably optional, I guess. But it would be more traditional to have the tofu. And that would be about it. You might also want a little bit of extra like soy sauce on top of it at the end. So like I said, I'm going to use about 1/5 or 1/6 of this, probably. I'm going to use about this much in my soup. And the rest of it, I'm going to put right in here, where I will cover it with water and use it over coming days. Now I cut it lengthwise. It was twice this thick in its container. I'll put that bit in my soup, and then I will show you my method for doing this super quick. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do to make this the speedy 10-minute recipe that it is, or less, is boil the pasta. The rest of the prep is so quick that I am able to do it while this is cooking. Now, because this is a video, I panicked and I've already cut my tofu, but we're going to pretend I didn't do that. I promise you, you will have time to cut your tofu, rinse and chop your entire head of cabbage, and do all of that, chop your garnish while these cook. This is an 8-ounce package, and my scales, my kitchen scales, have busted. I like to eat a 2-ounce serving of pasta because that's a serving. It's about 200 calories. So this is obviously the calorie bulk of the meal. The tofu is around 90 calories, maybe a little less. I might have a little less than 1/5, but so that's your other calorie bulk there. And the rest of it's kind of free food. So anyway, here's your nice, here's about 1/4 of it, so it's about 2 ounces. That will do for me. I'm going to start this boiling. This pot has 3 cups of water in it, and with these buckwheat noodles that have wheat in them as well, I find I can cook it all in one pan and not drain them, which is fantastic. Now, if you use just buckwheat, when I've done that, it makes the water starchy, and you kind of need to drain it and let the noodles be to the side, heat water again, and mix in your miso. But with this, if you use these noodles anyway, you can just do it all in one pot, and it's super fast, and you can eat this. So filtered water when you cook it. I'm going to get that going and come right back. Let's get our tofu cut up. So I'm going to cut this down the length because I want small dice in mine, and then make it into probably 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and then just across into small dice because that's how I like it. These are going to be stirred in right at the end just so they're warm. You do not want them to break up. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. Get that in the bottom of this bowl. Then I'm going to put my chopped bok choy on top of it. So it's gonna go in just a second before. It doesn't matter if they go in at the same time. Now with bok choy, it tends to be really sandy. So what I like to do is kind of take a little run at it before I rinse it this way. Now I eat the core part. I don't cut that out, but I just kind of cut it open. I'm gonna go over to the sink, give it a little bit of a rinse as much as I can. Yeah, I can see a little dirt in there. Sometimes I break it apart, and then I'll bring it back here and chop it up real good and add it to my bowl. So my water is on the stove coming to a boil, and while that happens, I already started my prep as I told you. So I've got a slivered green onion. I could probably eat 10 of them. And I've got my little dice of tofu. I've got my miso ready to go. I'm going to use kind of a heaping tablespoon of that. In their recipe for miso soup, they say put like, a teaspoon per half cup of water. I have 3 cups of water, so I'm using a little more than that. And that's going to get me to probably about 50 calories worth of miso. I am going to eat all of that. So if you are keeping count and you're worried about weight loss recipes, then you can see that we are coming to about, between our calorie bulk items, 290, 50 is 340 calories. So for like tons and tons of food and really nutrient dense food, here you get your, both this is cruciferous, leafy green vegetable and ton of it, cancer fighting properties in your organic tofu. Miso is fermented, it's delicious. Buckwheat pasta has got, it's organic, it's got all the anti-inflammatory properties of grains and good protein source and all that stuff. So this is a fantastic meal, and I swear it is so fast, and I got so addicted to it once I kind of figured it out. So I'm gonna just cut these up. I cut them up so they're kind of small enough to really, I don't need them to cook very much. They just kind of heat through. It's like almost like they just blanch really quickly and wilt down a tiny bit. So once I get up to the green part, I'll cut them a little bit bigger. But the big part, I like to cut up a little bit smaller. So there we go. So that is that done. I'm gonna go ahead and whack that. First the green, because I'll throw in these white parts before the green parts. We'll get a little more of a head start. But what we're gonna do, the pasta, so the pasta cooks for 6 to 8 minutes. So I set a timer for about 5 minutes. And when that goes off, I whisk in my miso. And then as soon as I've got my miso whisked in, then I dump and stir in this stuff. And then like another minute and you're done and you're ready to eat. Bada bing. This small amount of water takes just a few minutes to come to a boil in this pot. And I have a kind of a thinnish, smallish 3-quart soup pot. Maybe it's not even, maybe it's 2.5 quarts, I don't know. But it's little. It's the perfect size, and I'm gonna eat out of it. I'm going to eat out of it because in the middle of a busy work day, I can make fewer dishes for myself to cope with later, because you know who doesn't like coping with dishes? It's me. Anyway, now we are to a boil. So we'll dump in my pasta. My soba noodles, which are buckwheat noodles. And again, these do have some wheat in them. They just cook up extremely well. So they go right in. All right, now time, 5 minutes, start. I use some tongs so that I can make sure that they are separated a little bit as we go in. Get that right back up to a boil. If you need to stick the lid, but see, it is boiling, so we're not even having a problem with that. Okay, that's gonna go off, and we are nearly real time. This is so exciting today, y'all. We are gonna put in this sort of, that's almost 2 tablespoons, honestly. It's probably 4 teaspoons. I'm thinking that's 4 teaspoons. 3 teaspoons to 1 tablespoon, if you didn't know that already. And so that's gonna be the next step. As soon as that goes off, I'm gonna whisk that in. I've got a little bitty whisk somewhere. Okay, if I can't find my little bitty whisk, I'll just use this slightly bigger whisk. whisk it in, and then dump in my accoutrement and eat it. Okay, yo, our timer is about to go off. So we are just ready to whisk in our miso here. And there we go. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, let's stop the timer. All right, if you wanted to at this point, you could whack on another 2 minutes and then you'd know, like, if that thing goes off and you haven't taken this off the heat yet, you should, because you don't want to overcook your noodles. Ouch, just burned myself because I'm an idiot. All right, look, I'm just trying to get that out of there. It doesn't matter, that's totally fine. So I'm just gonna whisk that in, get that nice and dissolved. And you could add more or less miso to taste. It is good for you. It's a nice healthy thing to eat. Oh no, noodles. Now I'm going to add in my vegetable, and my tofu. Those are just gonna have a minute or two to warm through, wilt down slightly. I've got my tongs again. So you see how much this made. Now I'm gonna weenie out. I realized I said I was gonna eat it right out of here, but I'm actually gonna plate it up in this giant serving bowl, which is like, here's my hand, here's a serving bowl, here's a catastrophe, which is the size, it's a serving bowl. And it will fill this thing up, and that's like less than 400 calories or something. So yeah, so it's kind of really cool thing here. No oil, you know, and if you go with a softer, or if you are really concerned about like your fat intake or whatever, and you're working on a whole food plant-based diet in a certain capacity, one thing you might want to do is go for a softer tofu, because they tend to be less calorie dense and lower in fat. But tofu is a good healthy food. I mean, you can get some organic non-GMO tofu. This spoon I'm going to use, it will fall directly in and get lost in my bowl, so I'm just gonna have to keep that on the side. Look at that, we're ready to eat. Timer off, and I'm just gonna do this about just another minute or less, but honestly I think we are good to go. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of sriracha on it. All I want is for it to kind of just come right back to the boil, which it's wiggling, see? It's wiggling. You can see the water wiggle. But like the crunch of this vegetable is so nice. And it's nice for it to be not like way overcooked. All right, turn that off. Serve it up. Let you see the final product. So it's here, see if we can see it a little bit. And this is the part where I kill myself. No. All right. I'm at home. Who cares? I'm not serving anybody but myself. I'm working hard today. So we'll use our chopsticks. Get this out. And oh, look, I didn't whisk it well enough. I was too worried about my video. There's a little bit of extra miso paste in the way bottom. That's okay. I'll just whisk that in a little bit here. It wasn't much. And then we'll put on our, let's see if I can do this where we can see it, but it's not right on the burner. Yeah, put on these. Let me tell you what, if you remember to get green onions, if you have green onions for this, it is like way nicer. It's really nice without them, but it's just such a good added dimension. I'm gonna have a little sprinkling of soy sauce, if I can. This is a tamari. It's like a gluten-free one. And then I also am going to just have a little bit of sriracha. Boop, 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 because why not? All right, y'all, I'm not even gonna show you. Look, where am I? Not even gonna show you trying to eat it, because it's gonna be a mess. But I can tell you what, I'm gonna be full, I'm gonna be healthy, and I'm gonna feel really good, and it's gonna be delicious. Okay, thanks for watching. Oh, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, share it with anyone you think would like it. Hit the notification bell to get updates whenever I upload a new video. And thanks for watching.